I've got a big pig problem.
They're born in these big litters, so they all come at the one time. Suddenly I've got 500-600 kilos worth of pork meat all in 1 week.
So when I was invited to Italy for a gathering of artisan producers, I saw an opportunity to find a way to make pork products with a much longer shelf life.
Skinny little things, big fat, huge things. It's just groaning under the weight of these pork products.
This is the secret to prepare good salami. You know now the secret.
But I'm not done just yet. I used to be a big city food critic, but I gave up that life and moved to a small farm in country Tasmania. I've been learning how to produce my own food so I can know and trust what I eat. But just when I thought I had it all figured out, along comes Sadie, cowboy Headley, and responsibility. So now I'm farming for 3. How hard can it be? I'm on a research mission in Europe, and I've headed across the border into the south of France, where traditional techniques for safely preserving meat products are kept alive.
I'm here at a typical market in southwest France where local growers and farmers sell direct to the public, pretty much exactly like we're doing in Tasmania. What I'm hoping to find here is another way to preserve my pork products. When I've travelled through this region in the past, I've seen butchers and small farmers actually canning their own meat.
In Australia, any canned product is thought of as a mass-produced convenience food. But here in France, there's a tradition of preserving high-quality meat products in cans. To point me in the right direction, I'm meeting Dani Chouet, who once ran a French restaurant in the Blue Mountains, but now lives here. And this is her local butcher.
Oh, bonjour.
Nice to meet
How are you?
Very good, and you?
Welcome to the southwest.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And these are the magic tins.
Tins.
It's fantastic. This is incredible. You make all of these in your butcher shop?
Yes, it's my own production, and only us know how to make this.
Yeah.
It's our specialties.
Yeah?
He makes all his own pâtés and confit.
Incredible. I just love the idea of it. Something like this that can sit on the shelf for 2 years. Look at that. Pure pork. You grow all the ingredients for that on my farm and be able to preserve it for 2 years and still sell it, you know, out of the fridge, not sitting in the fridge.
Sitting in a cupboard.
Sitting in the cupboard, and they can take it. People can take it home and leave it in the cupboard.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of research, and it seems this sort of thing should be possible in Australia, if I can just learn firsthand how it's done here.
I'd love to see how these are made on a small farm. And, you know,
Yes.
ideally, a place like mine, you know, that actually rears the animals and preserves
That's
them on
right.
site.
Yes.
Is that possible?
This is very, very common here. There's lots of farms growing their own product, preserving them, and serving them to the customers.
Yeah.
I can suggest you a few places to go,
Yeah.
and you can see the preserving of tins.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Absolutely ideal. That's what I've come here to do.
So it's back on the road. Dani's directions take me zigzagging through some of the most stunning farmland. Orchards of prune plums, pigs gobbling fallen acorns, forests out of a Brothers Grimm fairy tale. And everywhere I look, ducks and geese, the pride of the southwest. Until, in the shadow of Chateau de Biron, I find Lamondine Farm.
These are, look at these. Geese? Geese?
Yes, geese.
Great. I'm having trouble telling my ducks from geese in French.
This is geese. Actually, they are 4 months old.
Hello. Allez, 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 allez.
Run for 40 years by the formidable Madame Vézière and assisted by her daughter Sylvie, Lamondine Farm produces foie gras, the controversial French delicacy made from the fatted livers of force-fed ducks and geese.
And your mother makes all these products?
Yes, she makes everything.
Yeah, she's the woman.
She's the cook.
Was it a family tradition?
It's a family business.
What I'm really interested in is why tinning? Why put stuff in cans to preserve it?
Alors pourquoi est-ce que tu as choisi de faire de la conserve dans ta cuisine?
Pour garder la tradition et la qualité des produits surtout, parce que la conserve c'est vraiment traditionnel et ils ne sont pas à la lumière.
So you've got a great product, you can preserve it in its best
Yes.
for many years.
Yes.
Not saying simple to me.
Now that's something I just have to learn.
3?
Oui.
It looks like something that you could go down to the bottom of the ocean in, don't you think? This is so beyond anything that you're allowed to eat. No.
I'm keen to see how Madame Vizier cans her small farm products. What equipment she uses, how much it all costs, and how she guarantees the safety and quality of her products. As luck would have it, she's canning a pâté today and has invited me along.
Oh, eggs.
Okay, yes. Eggs and meat.
And meat.
Pork meat.
Oh, look at this.
So we have pork,
Yeah.
chicken, ducks. We're going to make some pâté lamandine.
So it's the house pâté.
House pâté,
Your-
yes.
the specialty
yes,
of your-
specialty. Oh, the specialty of the
Lamandine.
lamandine, yes.
It's a simple recipe. First off, a puree of hot pig skin and onions is combined with eggs and Armagnac.
Armagnac.
Yes.
And carefully measured, I noticed.
And after a quick toss through the meat, it's back into the industrial mixer for blending.
Everybody is asking, how do you make this pâté? It's very good.
And now I know.
Now you know.
But the magic is in the quality of the ingredients, the precision of the recipe, and presumably the way it's preserved in the can.
The can need to be gold inside.
Has to be gold inside.
Yes, gold, not white.
Pas de blanc, pas de
Not
blanc.
white.
Pas de vernis
Because
blanc.
you have a special protection in the can.
Yeah, that's a great size. How many grams would that be?
200 grams.
That's 200 grams.
Yes.
Do you do smaller? Yeah, I saw some smaller in there.
130 grams.
Yeah, that would be perfect for us as the smallest.
This is the smallest we have. Yeah.
And you have a special filling machine?
No,
I can see it.
this is hand.
Yeah, two spoons. Madame is a champion can filler. She can do 300 of these in about 10 minutes. Do you have to be careful of
Yes, around.
anything on the top?
No, that's fine.
That doesn't
You can-
matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Fantastic. So this is, wow.
Alors là,
This is it's all going on here. This is a much bigger machine than I had in my head. I saw one on the internet. It was like this sort of, you know, the size of a drill, a bench-mounted drill. This is where they actually seal the lids onto the tins, presumably.
would you like to try?
I'd love to try. So,
Okay.
up on there into
Yes.
the groove.
Remove your.
That's it.
That's it. Yes, and you push the same button at the same time.
At the same time.
Yes. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh,
Remove your finger.
But getting the meat sealed in a can is only the first step.
oh, look at this. So all the tins are in there.
To cook and sterilise the product, it has to be heated all the way through to well over 100 degrees Celsius. And for that, you need one of these, an autoclave.
This is amazing. This ancient-looking, prehistoric green machine is the autoclave. It's got these sort of winged handles here that must hold the lid down and keep it on at pressure.
Each time we have a sterilization, we need to write down
Yep.
the quantities and the date.
Yeah. And this records temperature and time.
The temperature will be marked because you have a graph on it.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Oh, I like
the
this.
graph. Oh,
So it's gas. That's a good sound.
yeah,
So, a huge gas jet underneath by the sound of it.
yeah,
A huge boiler.
yeah. Ah, c'est bon. And you can see the water will
Has to be well
Has to
over.
be on the top, yes.
Yep. Looks like something that you could go down to the bottom of the ocean in, don't you think? Like
Yes. Oh, yes.
or to the moon in.
It's a very expensive machine.
It is.
It is, yes.
Is it, you know, is it 5,000 euros or is it
10,000.
10,000 euros for this?
None of this gear comes cheap, but it could open up a whole new range of products with a great shelf life.
And that's the finished product. It's so impressive. There's so much stuff here. It's unbelievable what you've got. And just like, on one shelf, you know, it's kind of like, it's my dream shelf to have all these things. I'm pretty jealous. How much of all this actually comes from the farm in terms of the ducks and chickens? And
Everything is come from the farm except the pork.
everything except the pork,
Yeah.
from just outside the door.
We bought it.
That's wonderful. Imagine this in Tasmania, like a whole array of stuff that's preserved on the farm where it comes from. Tiny little tins of pate or bigger things of this is actually a stuffed gooseneck. To be able to do something like this, to put our rillette in a tin about that size, it's just perfect, absolutely perfect. All I need is a 7,000 euro tinning machine,
Yes.
sealing machine,
Yeah.
a 10,000 euro autoclave,
Yes.
and then I need a building to house it all in.
Yes.
Right,
Yes, you need the building to put everything inside.
great. Well, thank you so much.
It would be a huge investment, but I now believe it is possible.
3?
Oui.
Before I head back to Tasmania, there's just one more thing I have to do. I want to sit and relax and eat one last tin in the same way my customers may one day do it. Simply picnic style with some bread.
Always need more duck fat in your life. That's sensational. It's duck terrine out of a tin. Nothing of that quality, seriously, seriously good, you'd ever find in a tin in Australia. This tastes like a really wonderful, creamy duck terrine, like something you wish you'd made at home or you'd have in a really great restaurant. This is the equivalent of some of the best restaurant food you can get in Australia. And I just bought it in a tin for, you know, €3 or €2 up the road. French cats are very well trained to be able to smell out a really good duck terrine. No, no. No, this is so beyond anything that you're allowed to eat, unless French cats are fed really, really well. Learning how to preserve meat like this and in salami is the whole reason I came to Europe in the first place. If I could do this sort of thing in Tasmania, it would help me ride out the seasonal variation when my farm produces lots of pigs and then less pigs. The incredible thing about this, long shelf life, and it still tastes absolutely delicious, this one in particular, when you open it years later.
Go on. So what do you reckon he's cooked us for lunch? Go on. Come through.
Bon appetit and welcome back home.
Thank you.
Here's to
Cheers all.
Cheers. Cheers. So what you were saying, it's simply not possible in Australia. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Thanks anyway.
But back in Australia, I'm faced with a difficult reality.
Yeah, but that's what the CSIRO told me as well. So what you were saying, it's simply not possible in Australia.
The idea of canning has gone from a little expensive to all but impossible.
Well, yeah. Thanks anyway. Oh, that went well. Look, all the equipment that I saw in France, I could probably get into Australia and set it up here for about $20,000. The problem I've got is that the local health department says I can't sell canned goods unless I can prove it's safe. And the CSIRO, to do a test batch, this is a batch I can't even sell, are going to charge me maybe $17,000. So nearly as much as the whole entire cost of setting it up. So I'm in a bit of a bind. The local expert, the Australian expert, who's the consultant not only to industry but to government, I've spoken to him about whether it's possible to do this here. He seemed completely unaware that small canneries are doing this safely and have done it for 150 years in France. He made it quite clear that he wasn't interested in it and that probably no one else would be interested in helping me. So by the sound of the people I've spoken to, it would never, ever actually be approved. Which is a bummer, actually. There is something I can do. I'd really love to recreate that salami, that amazing salami I had in Italy. Unfortunately, that too needs a whole bunch of equipment, a special fermenting room, special cool rooms, and I'm not convinced that I should invest that sort of money just yet. Luckily, there's actually a bloke in northern Tasmania up at Deloraine who's making really good salami, and I'm hoping he can help me make a test batch to see how it turns out, see how it goes down with my customers.
It's a long way from home, but this factory has all the equipment for making salami, plus an expert small goods maker whose products I already rate highly. Thomas Buke hails from a long line of Black Forest worstmen in Germany, and he's been plying his trade in Tasmania for the last 10 years. But today, we're making a batch of salami using meat from my pigs and some of the techniques I learned in Europe.
You said you wanted to make a salami out of this, and what sort of salami would you like to make?
I guess what I'm really interested in is doing something inspired by the trip to Italy. So coarse ground, probably with a bit more fat than traditionally seen in Australian salami. And but I'd really like to do, say, something with fennel in it, chilli and fennel together.
That's not a problem.
You're a bit of a gun at this. You've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, I've done it a couple of times. All right, there we got our meat. So that's got about 25% of fat in it. That's sort of what you're looking for?
I reckon that's perfect. Less than cheese, still.
Yeah, less than cheese.
Once we mix through the spices, it's time to mince away. And it's already smelling pretty damn good as we head across to the other side of the factory.
Looks like they're making lunch.
To pump out some Italian-inspired sausages in natural ox casings.
There we go.
I've got about 15 kilos, more or less, which now need to hang in a temperature and humidity-controlled environment while they mature. This is the kind of expensive gear I'll need if I'm ever going to do this back home.
Turn them on, press the button, and there we go.
So they should be ready in about 3 weeks?
In about 3 weeks.
While I'm waiting for my salami to cure, back on the farm, it's time to deal with something I've been putting off. Roger's been much loved since he crowed his way to roosterhood in the chook shed, but he hasn't fathered a single chick this year. It looks like he's been firing blanks. So, to farewell the old bird, Nick and Ross are coming over for a meal.
So what do you reckon he's cooked us for lunch?
Oh, I don't know.
Nothing goes to waste on the farm, so I'm serving up a dish of farm eggs and Nick's cheese on my sourdough bread, nestled in a soup of Sadie's tomatoes and broth of rooster.
It smells amazing.
Does, doesn't it?
Thank you. Bon appetit and welcome back home.
Thank you.
Here's to
Cheers all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Headley. Cheers with your
You
diplodocus. So it's good to have you back.
I don't think you were even going to come back. I thought you would have stayed there for sure.
It was tempting. You should have seen it. At Saloni, it was amazing. They're the most brilliant selection of salamis and prosciutto. Prosciutto, half the size of this table, you know, and there'd be fat on it,
Yeah.
but no one balked. In fact, they were all like, "Oh, whoa, look at that!" You know, yeah.
What about France? What were the highlights in France?
Oh, probably seeing how you can be in a farmhouse, you know, where they fatten less pigs than we do in the period of a year, and yet can feed 1,500 people using they can their own products so they can keep it fresh all year and then serve it to customers. Like they do it all winter, they preserve things. So you can feed hundreds of people using really concentrated, really flavoursome stuff that they preserve in tins.
Yeah, okay.
So this salami you're getting made, what are you looking at charging, do you think?
I worked it out, $60 a kilo.
60?
By the time we get him to make it, the freight up and back, testing.
And do you think our customers will pay 60?
I don't know, that'll be the big test.
Take prosciutto. All you want is a few slices.
Yeah, and you want them to taste fantastic. And that's
It's not like you sit there and eat a kilo of salami. You don't even need 100 grams of salami.
No.
You just have a few slices.
Yeah, 100 grams, $6. So really most people are going to buy 50 grams.
Yeah.
$3.
I reckon the customers will go for it.
Yeah, well...
All of our customers are, they're used to paying for food,
Quality
for good
stuff.
food that they know where it's come from.
People ask about salami. The few times I've worked for you guys, people always ask about salami.
Always cured stracciatella, salami. Prosciutto is a really big one as well.
Yeah.
I think the next thing you guys are going to have to do is a prosciutto.
Wow.
Sounds good to me.
We'll quote you on that.
Yeah. Well, all that will entail is me going to Italy for six months. You don't mind, do you?
The only problem is this time you're going to have to take me. That's the problem.
Yeah, Ross and I are going to Italy for 6 months. You don't mind, do you? I'm actually thinking it might have to be 12 months. Because a really good prosciutto has...
Sharing a homegrown meal with those closest to me reminds me why I've worked so hard to build the farm business.
It's the only way to learn is by mistake. So
I'm still disappointed that I won't be canning my products, at least for now. But I can't complain. I have made that Italian-style salami, and it's finally ready for the market.
Well, that's it. Finally got my own salami hanging up there. Look, it's been a really long journey, but it's so good to see it there. The proof will be whether people actually want to come and buy it, and more importantly, pay for it. This is our free-range chili and fennel salami. We've just started it. This is the first day we're doing it today. Done with free-range pigs. There you go, grab that. We call it the mother-in-law. Yeah, because it's a little bit sharp on the tongue. We're doing,
The good news is, it looks like they do. It's going gangbusters. In only a couple of hours, we've all but sold out.
There you go.
My little farm business is well on the way to earning a steady income for me and my family.
Should we just push your way through the freeloaders?
But it's been one hell of an adventure getting to this point.
I don't think you could get a more exposed piece of land in Tasmania than this paddock.
Along the way, I've learned a bunch of new tricks.
Very nice. Is there any chance of snakes in these holes?
You're pretty right today, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Been to some knockout places.
This region is called the Green Earth of Italy.
Faced some hard times.
The thought of losing it is I can't even begin to contemplate.
Met a whole bunch of incredible characters.
Benjamin, welcome to Cones & Mill.
Barley is the basis of the beer, but this is the magic.
And eaten some terrific food.
I want to run outside and give it to people and say, you have to taste this dish.
Would I do it all again?
This is just incredible.
That's good, eh?
That's just amazing.
You bet.
Woohoo! That's a buzz.